Hmm. Okay, I guess I'll talk about just a half a minute on this,
That's it.
and Jerry can finish up.
I know.
Well, okay, Jerry's going to talk about this some more, but I ordered some of that stuff that he's going to talk about and put it on some of my handles. Now, Jerry put some padding and stuff under his handles, but I went ahead and ordered a different color and put a band down on the end. And I'm going to tell y'all something. Stoughton brought this up, I don't know how many months ago. And I saw it, but I didn't think about it. And I'm going to tell y'all that it really, arthritis in your hands, have to grip sometimes your tool a little bit, you know. That right there, man, that's slick as a button. I mean, it gives you more grip, and you don't have to squeeze your tool. I mean, I like it. Uh, Now, what we do today, and I tell y'all something. This is something else I got to tell you. I have never, in all my demos that I've ever done, whether they be for us or Georgia or let's see, Georgia and Chattanooga and something's talking.
Yes, you.
Okay,
Nah, we got.
it's a echo. I mean, it's about a time lapse. But anyway, I've never, I've never got stuff together for a demo ahead of time, and Royal can vouch for this. On Saturday, I'm gonna do a demo. Friday evening, I'll come in, I'll throw all my stuff in the sack and the bag, and out I go. I mean, I've never prepared for a demo. Well, guess what? This time I kindly prepared, so it probably gonna go upside down backwards.
They're good again.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna make is this pepper mill, and it's a salt shaker and a pepper grinder. Jerry Osmondson come up, he ordered some of these back, I don't know how many months ago, but he showed me one of them, and I'll tell you what, I just thought, man, that's nice. So I don't know, I believe he might have brought me a kit, but anyway, I made this thing, and it's very, very simple. It's very easy. And I made 4 of them for Christmas. So the guy wanted me to make 4 for presents for his daughters and his wife. And I was afraid we wasn't going to get them, but we did get them because it was out of order, out of back ordered. And Jerry was looking last week when I went up to his house. He was looking, and guess what? They're on back order again. So there must be a pretty little hot item, but they're very easy. And that's what I'm going to do today. So, uh, the pepper mill is 4 finished pepper mill. The body of it is 4 3/4 inches long. 4 3/4 inches long, is as long as you need. And you need a piece of wood a little bigger than 2 inches. This is about 2 3/8 square.
Jack,
Yes.
we have a question on Zoom. Where did you get the kits from?
Okay, Jerry ordered the kits from Penn State, Penn State Industries. And the kits are about, how much, Jerry? 13.95?
Plus tax and shipping.
12, okay, the kits are 12, if you ordered one, the kits are 12.95 each, plus shipping and tax. The more, and y'all know by buying pen kits and stuff that y'all bought from Penn State and before, the more you get, the cheaper they get. So if you get like 1 through 5, they're the same, like 12.95. Then once you get past 5, they come down a little. 10 and 15, they come down, and 20. So anyway, they also offer a kit that has two peppermill kits, and a set of bushings and some drill bits for $69, I think. Now, don't quote, I'm just quoting this off the top of my head, but they're back ordered because we wanted to bring them, like, to see if anybody, tell the club about it, and if anybody wanted to order any, they could order them or get a group together and order them and get them cheaper. So what I done, this blank is 5.5 inches long. Finished is just 4 3/4. But I cut it 5.5 inches long. And I'll explain that a little bit as it goes along because of mess ups. If you make a mistake.
What wood you got?
Do what?
What kind of wood is it?
Okay, this is a piece of cherry. This is a piece of cherry. I've got 2 blanks, cherry blanks. And this is a piece of well, my mind went blank. No, it's not, no. I think it'll come back around in a minute. That bowl that we made, Sean, the big bowl. Where'd Sean? Sycamore. This is spalted sycamore. So you got 2 drill bits that you need. You need 1.5 inches and 1 1/16 Forstner bits. That's all you need. And then your chucks to hold it. It's very, very easy. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start. I'm going to get one of these started. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it between centers and make it round. That's all. That's all I'm going to do to start with. Put it between centers and make it round. Gauge. What was this legend? Makes me have the big head to where I can't even. Yes, Joe was probably about right. Yeah, Joe was probably just about right. Now, the guys that's in here, that's been here, but the new faces, the new younger ones and what all, you'll notice that I don't have a face shield on. It's more dangerous for me to turn without a face shield than it is with one. Or with one, let me change that. It's more dangerous for me to turn using a face shield as it is not using it. And the reason for that is the way my glasses are made. When I put something that's curved in front of me, it's just like looking through a waterfall because of the prism in my glasses. So I turn without a face shield. Now, if I turn something that I feel I'm uncomfortable, well, I don't turn anything that's split and busted up. I don't do that stuff. But if I turn anything that I'm not uncomfortable with, I've got a thing back here that I use. It's a helmet with a catcher's mat, catcher's like a baseball catcher. At least it won't hit me in the face. Might come through if it's little, but it won't bust my teeth out. Now, once before, I got hit in the mouth with a piece of acrylic up at Jeff Hicks's. That was a 6 hour stay. I think me and Howard and Royal stayed in the emergency room 6 hours to get 9 stitches in my lip. But that's not saying that I don't believe in a face shield. Use them. It's just dangerous for me to use it. Okay, now if we got new turners. If we don't, I don't know who's new and who's not, but if you're trying to turn something round, well, how do I know I've got it round? Okay, you can take your tool and just lay it on top and it'll bounce. Now that's it's either round or it's got just a little flat. Right here's some little flats. So we're almost round. And all we're gonna do is go round. You know, we're gonna swap sides, swap hands. Now, a lot of people can't turn left-handed. Okay, now I want to see how close I am, being the same diameter on both ends. A little big, a little big. So from about halfway down, I just want to take just a little bit off. Okay, that's close enough. Okay, now what I'm going to do, oh, what dimension is it? Okay, you want to get down to it. Okay, that is 2 inches, 340 thousandths. So it's almost 3/8. 3/8 of an inch is 375 thousandths. So it's 2 3/8. That's 2 300, 2 388, 2 371. So it's just it's about 2 3/8. So it'll end up being smaller than that. But at this point right now, all I want to do is make it round. So I'm gonna come in here and I'm going to make a tenon on both ends, just a short tenon on both ends. Okay, now I've got a tenon made on both ends. So now we're going to take and I'm going to put it in the chuck. Take my drive out. Now, this was the bigger end of the two. That was the bigger end. So we'll come in.
How much bigger is that in?
1/16 of an inch.
Not
No, no, not intentionally. It's just the bigger of the two ends, but it's a 1/16 of an inch bigger. Yeah, it's, now the only thing I'm doing is I'm just gonna run this up and see that I'm in the center, and I am. So I'm gonna tighten it up. Okay. Now we're gonna drill an 1.5 inch hole. That's okay. I'm gonna drill an 1.5 inch hole, 1 5/8 inches deep. To start with, now I'm not gonna go the full distance. I'm not gonna go the full distance with that drill bit. All I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna drill, I don't know, if y'all ever drilled a hole with a bigger drill bit and then come back, or drill a hole with a small drill bit and then come back and try to drill a bigger hole. It's hard to get it to line up.
What's the round disc on the drill bit for?
Do what?
What's the round disc on the drill bit for?
I'll show you. We'll get to that in a minute. All I'm doing now is I'm going in just the depth of the Forstner bit to make me a hole, 1.5 inches in diameter. All right, now I'm gonna take that drill bit out. And I'm gonna put 1 1/16 in there. I've got to go back and go 1 5/8 inches with that drill bit. Well, you say, well, why didn't you do that to start with? Well, it's a lot easier to drill a bigger drill bit if you got a small hole in the center of it. You ain't drilling that whole 1.5 inches of wood out to begin with. So I'm gonna come back in here. I'm gonna come up. Now, this has to go all the way through, but I'm not gonna drill but about halfway, a little further than half. This is 1 1/16 inches. I'm just not going to go all the way through because I don't want my drill bit to get down here and get into my chuck. Now, you say, man, that drill bit sure is cutting good. Well, it better cut good because I sharpened them. So, okay. Do what?
I'll bring you a bike.
I'll just show you how to do it. And then you can do it. Okay. Now, I've got that drill bit. Now, the thing about the plastic, the shrink wrap. How many times have you tightened up your chuck and your drill bit slipped? A bunch. Well, I put a piece of that shrink wrap on this chuck down, and hey, I'm gonna tell you, I hadn't had any slip. Okay, now I'm gonna come back in here now, and I'm gonna go 1 5/8 inches. Now, Sean was wanting to know why was that piece of plywood on that drill bit. The depth stop. Okay, now I'm going to take my shavings, clean my shavings out.
Got the bit sticking out far enough and then
When you touch the vinyl, you touch it.
Yep. Okay,
Beat that for everybody in Zoom.
Yeah.
okay. Let's just back up and say I hadn't got that on there. I've put my drill bit in my chuck. Now, this here is smaller than the 1.5 inch hole. Well, I don't want to go too deep, but if I do go too deep, you got to remember now, I'm 5.5 inches. So I always shorten it. You know, I can always cut the end off of it a little bit. But now, all I got to do is go up there until that piece of wood is bottomed out against that other one. And I can't stop it. Okay, I can go just a little more because I can stop it. So I want to go just a little bit more. All right, now let's measure it and see how we are. All that's doing is saving you from measuring, take out and measure, back and forth. Okay, I like just a little bit, but I'm not going to drill it now because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come and I'm going to flatten off my bottom because I'm going to finish this bottom. I'm going to finish this bottom because I won't be coming back to it.
You go try to ground drill the other end.
Yeah.
I'm not taking the tin off, man.
No. No. See, right there, I got a catch. Yeah. Okay, now y'all see, I'm gonna turn it, y'all wobbling. See that? So it's moved in my truck. So now you gotta remember, we got us a, I'm gonna turn that just a little. We got us a 5.5 inches. That's why you don't want to cut it 4 3/4 to start with. Now, don't do that right there. Whew. I do not like the way that cherry is turning. Now, I'll just tell y'all like it is. I don't like the way that cherry is turning. because it's chipped out, something furious. Okay, the end's flat. And I'm not going to do much sanding. I'm just going to kind of knock the fuzzies off of that end.
I think you'd get on your stand paper. Oh, burden.
I like to get, who, Bobby, Buddy. I like, when I go to the symposiums, I like to get it from that Vince's Wooden Wonders. He sells sandpaper, but it's the Velcro back. But now I've wanted to order some from, I've wanted to order some from that, Clean Sport. I just had never done it. Do what? Now, I can go down to Rawlings. I can go down to Royals every once in a while, and I like to use his. I like to use roll sandpaper. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all, this piece of cherry, this piece of cherry that I've got that I'm making this thing out of, I'm gonna tell it just like it is. It is dry, 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 dry. I got this cherry from Bob Henry, and he had it. It was up at the sawmill, and there's no telling how long it had been there. So it is dry.
Let's talk about that. A buddy of mine gave me some cherry that been sitting in his grandfather's barn in the hayloft for 70 years. I'm almost scared to turn it. Cause it looks really good when I turn it, but it's so dry, I'm scared that it's gonna come apart.
Well, that's why this chipped out so, cause it's so dry, it's brittle.
So what do I need to do to go to the vat of oil or something?
Well, it ain't, you know.
You got change, when that change color or anything?
Now, what I'm doing is I'm using that sanding paste that I make. And I've sanded it, not real smooth. Now I'm going to go back, because remember, I've cut it short. So now I'm going to have to go back and drill my hole. My 1.5 inch hole. No, there's all kind of different ways to make these things. You don't have to make them like I'm making them. I'll guarantee you that Jerry has not made them like I made them. And his has turned out just as good as these have. So it's okay. That's exactly right. But as long as it works, that's all that matters. Okay. Now, we've got this end is done. It's sanded, it's drilled, it's done. So now I'm going to take it out of the chuck. And I'm going to change chucks. Okay, now that right there will go right up on there.
What you got there inside the truck?
The jaws.
It's just jaws. Pin jaws. Oh, pin jaws.
Okay, those jaws, this is a Vic Mark chuck. Dick Sing designed these jaws. You know who Dick Sing is? Have you ever heard of Dick Sing? Dick Sing is, he's kindly fell by the wayside now because of age. But he used to turn, he was a machinist, a tool and die maker, and he turned pocket watches. He would take a pocket piece of wood and make a pocket watch. And then on the back of the pocket watch, he would do inlays and put little disc in there, let them overlap. He'd glue one in and then drill a hole, turn it, put another one in. Well, anyway, he designed these to fit the watch case. That's why it's got the little dovetail out here on the end. That was to fit his watch cases. That don't sound right. Could be cracked. But anyway, put pressure on it. Okay, now we're going to drill this end. We're going to go through it from this end. This is our 1 1/16. All I'm doing is, the reason I'm backing out is to clear some of the shavings. Now, just as soon as I go through that end of that other cavity, I'm gonna stop. Get shavings out of it.
What kind of birdhouse is this gonna be? What kind of birdhouse is this gonna be?
I hope it ain't gonna be a birdhouse. Yep, hope it ain't gonna be a birdhouse. Okay, I just went through. Okay, now I'm gonna take and I'm gonna measure this thing now. So I had to go over there and get my pencil. Okay, we are 4 3/4 of an inch. So I'm gonna come up here. There's my 4 3/4. $4 inches, 750,000. No, the reason I'm putting this up here is for support. It's the only reason. Put just a little bit of this sanding paste on here.
That Jack Jackson patented.
It's not patented, but it's what I make. And I like it pretty well. It does good.
We'll give you the roll.
Oh, yeah. Okay, now. Shh. Okay. We've got the base of the pepper mill done. Now, I'm gonna hand this one out and let it go around. This chip on the corner right here won't mean anything because when you finish it, that chip will go away. Because you're going to, which these are the bushings that you can buy. I didn't buy them, I made them. But that's the bushings that you put in it. Well, when you turn that down to that bushing, that chip's gonna be gone. That's, so I'm gonna pass this around.
You didn't use it.
Do what?
Why did you put a tenon on that end if you didn't use it?
Well,
Yeah.
no, I didn't use a tenon except on one end. You know, this end is gonna be cut smaller. A lot smaller. But there's always a time when you could mess up and need a tenon. You don't have to cut a tenon on it. Like I said, there's 15 dozen ways to make these things.
Has one chuck, it's now been called, but use that same chuck.
Yeah, if you didn't have these jaws, you could use the tenon to hold it. So I'm gonna pass that one around. Now, we're going to we're gonna change boats in the middle of the river. Now, this is that piece of sycamore. So we're gonna put this piece of sycamore on here. And I'm gonna do the same process. As far as cutting it off. And I've done got this one marked. But I'm gonna recheck it. I'm not gonna take it for granted. Okay, now we got this piece of sycamore to the same point that the piece of cherry that's going around the room. Got it to the same point. Okay, now I'm gonna put my bushings on there. I'll tell you. Did that fit? I'm gonna put that back on the. I'm gonna put that back on the lathe and reduce it just about five thousandths. We can take the chuck off.
Put the sanitizer on, you're using toilet tissue to,
That's-
instead of paper towel.
I just haven't got any paper towels over here. Yeah, I haven't got paper towels over here. Okay. Now, putting it on that mandrel. Is turn it down to the bushings. Now, you can, if you want to do a little design, you got to remember you've got a 1 and a 16th inch hole all the way down through there. So you can't do a whole lot of design on here because the end down here is going to be probably a quarter of an inch. Then you come up to 1 5/8 inches. Let me measure up and show you what I'm talking about. Okay. The only place that you can really, well, that's going to be the bottom of the hole. The 1 5/8 inch hole is right there at the bottom of it. So we're going to come up just a little bit from that and give you a thickness there about a half, a little less than half. The only designing that you can do is from that line to right there that you're not going to get into the inside of it. Now, you want this right here to be straight with this bushing because this is going to be the diameter of the top of the salt shaker, the bottom of the salt shaker. Sits right on top of it. So you don't want to round that over. You want it to be a square shoulder. That's why you don't really do much of a design on them. You kind of leave them plain. Now, you don't have to go all the way down to the bushing. You don't have to go down to this bushing. If you want it a little fatter on the bottom, you don't have to go all the way to the bushing. So I'm to kind of put a little shape on the top of this one. But I don't really want to get too far down. I want this to be right up at that bushing. I'm not gonna do much. I'm just gonna do a little. Now, that's got a little bit of a shape to that. And you can go ahead and do some more sanding, do some more shaping a little bit, not much. Now, what I've done, okay, you want to round that corner off just a little. It's too sharp. That's a sharp corner. So what I've done was take these rubber O-rings, put that rubber O-ring on there, put the rubber O-ring on back on this one. Now that's going to let me come back up to the shape. Back away from that bushing, but it's still running on the bushing, so I'm still concentric. So I can come in here and I can touch that edge just a little with something. And then take just a little paper and do that edge. Now, there again, I do not want to do anything to this edge because I want that to be flat. Okay, now, I told y'all that I'd done a little preparation. Beforehand. This is the salt shaker and pepper mill that will be in the auction. Which one? That one?
No.
Oh,
Hold it.
okay, this is gonna be the pepper mill that will be in the auction in December for the demo piece. Pepper and salt shaker, pepper mill and salt shaker.
That an oversized looking pin manual kind of thing?
That's all it is. That's all it is just a. This, the pin bushings, mandrel bushings, that's all that is. Now you can buy those from Penn State.
You can also make them out of just like.
You can make them out, you can make them out of a piece of hardwood, maple. Tommy uses them on making just regular pepper mills. Now, on this, and which I know all y'all know this, there's no need in me saying it. But when you take and do your salt, put you about a half a teaspoon of rice or 3 or 4 dry pinto beans down in there. Put your salt in on top of it. The rice or the beans will keep the moisture out of your salt shaker sitting on the table. So then your salt shaker won't be, every time you look at it, the holes won't be caked up with salt. I mean, you know, from moisture. But there's so many people that don't do that. And you know, you could do it. I don't know why these restaurants don't do it. Every time you go to a Cracker Barrel, pick up a salt shaker and look at it, you don't even want to use it. But anyway. Now, are there any questions?
The assembly instructions are in the kit.
The assembly instructions are in the kit. They sure are. And guys, this thing is very, 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 very simple and easy. I mean, very easy.
Does that hot?
Yes. It comes off just like a regular pepper mill. No, you take your little button off. You take your little button off. Okay, so this Howard, now this one's got salt and pepper in it. Take that off and the whole thing. Now, don't turn that upside down while you got it because you're fixing to dump it all. But that's got your peppercorns in it. Set that in there. That's got your salt in it. And then it, as far as it works, just like a plain pepper mill. And then your salt shaker.
You just throw it over your shoulder.
Do what?
Throw the salt over your shoulder.
Why?
Bad luck.
Oh, well, hey.
Man in the wood shop, you got those shit over. I'm gonna do it.
But anyway, if the club wants to order any, you know, you can get together and order some. The more you order, the cheaper they are. I think Jerry ordered, he ordered 30 of them and they got down around, $11.13 a piece. Now, I don't know, there wasn't any shipping on that. I don't know if it was when he ordered them, there was a special deal on shipping, or if it was that, the amount, because there's 30 of them, $300 worth of pepper meals, you know, they might have sent them free. But, we did get the discount on the quantity. Plus, we got the 10% discount on the club discount. So, now, one thing that I did not say, and when it gets back up here, I'll show you. Yes,
How long does the screw that holds the mechanism in?
that's what I'm fixing to show you. When it gets back up here, okay, no. Okay. Just happen to have one up here. Okay. Normally on pepper meals, if you're making a standard pepper meal, and this guys, if everybody's made a pepper meal, they're gonna agree with me and they know what they're talking about. The most aggravating thing about it, the whole situation, is putting that pepper meal together. You got all them pieces and parts that you got to put together down here, and then you got to drill them little holes for them screws to go in. And if you don't put wax on them screws, you're going to always pre-drill, always. But even with pre-drilling, you need to wax. You take a piece of wax, drag your screw across it, because sure as the world, you'll start the end of that screw, get tight, and it'll break off. Then you're going to have to clock it, start again, and you ain't going to have a screw the same to match. These don't have screws in them. They push in. Now, the first one that I made, my bit wasn't sharp. Well, y'all know what a little bit of a dull bit will do. It'll wallow the hole just a little. So I put my pepper mill together and I started to use it. In fact, it was that red one. Started to use it, put my corns in there. The sucker wouldn't work. I was working, twisting. It wasn't working. I thought, what in the devil's wrong? Well, I got to looking at it, and the pepper mill was turning. The mill was turning. So I took it out. I didn't want any epoxy up on this rim. No epoxy up here. So I thought, well, if I put my epoxy on here and shove it down in there, it's going to push my epoxy off the end of it. So I run me just a little bit now, not much, just a little epoxy about halfway down. Put it in there, pushed it down in there, and let it set. Put it together, tighten it up, and just let it hold it. And then it's no problem. That one, it's the walnut one. I will take it and I'm gonna push it out, put a little epoxy in it, and stick it back in there. But very simple. Epoxy, because your CA is gonna run all over everywhere. And if you get that sucker in that grinder, you done screwed up. Yep. I see that one's not turning. The whole thing's not turning. So that one, it'd grind. But anyway, I still put epoxy, still gonna put epoxy in it. But they're fun to make, simple to make.
What's the name of that place again? Penn State?
In-state
Industry.
industries. If I drop that thing one more time,
But you will pay, there's a bunch of different ones.
Yeah.
You want one of those?
Yeah, Rich, what?
Once you give me 11, 13, I'll get you.
Sorry. Get changed to 100 in state.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stop shipping on Amazon.
now there's the other one.
Amazon order, the price will be higher because they're including the shipping.
So, you can make, you just don't have this inch and 1/8, inch and 5/8 down here. You don't have a whole lot of design that you can do because it'll get too thin.
Thicker,
Do what?
start it thicker.
Well, yeah, you can make it thicker. You just got to keep that in mind, but you don't want it, you just got to keep in mind of what you're doing. Because you can make a napkin ring out of it just like anything else. But there's all different kinds, all different designs. But they're fun to make. If there's not any more questions, I guess, my goodness, it's 11 o'clock. I'll show you one little something. Now, I'll tell y'all, I have found me something that I have really had a lot of fun with. I don't know how many folks in here has got one. But everybody got a 3D printer?
Oh.
3D printer? Well, I'm gonna tell y'all something. When he brought some stuff. Well, he done a demo. He done a demo and bought some rings, some little boxes. He printed some little rings, threaded rings, male and female threads, threaded rings. Well, anyway, that got me to thinking. And I thought, well, hey, okay, I don't have a boat. I don't have a motorcycle. I don't play golf.
Got all that.
I don't drink and chase white women. So the only thing I waste my money on is wood turning. So I thought, well, hey, I'm gonna look at this 3D printer. So anyway, I bought me a 3D printer. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I have had a lot of fun. Well, you can go to Maker World, there's a place that's got all people's already designed stuff. But this guy had designed pepper mill, a thing to make what you call it, a jig or whatever, pepper mill designs. And you can put it together and look at it before you ever make it. And these are all different shapes. And I'm just going to throw something simple because there's all shapes now.
Hold it up to the.
Usually my leg just tells me what I'm making.
Well, tell you though, the thing of it is, if you've bought a piece of 3 inch square, 12 inch long rosewood, or you give $40 for a blank, you kind of want to know what you're going to do with it before you start.
Yeah.
Because you can start on it and get to cutting, and that ain't what I wanted to do. Well, guess what? You can't change it. It's like in the machine shop, I always told the kids, you can always take it off, but you can't put it back. So, I mean, you can design, and you can design. I'm just gonna make a short one here. You just design to your heart is, and the reason they're different colors was I,
Sure.
On camera, Jack.
Hey, let's go.
well, I can't, I'm
Not the TV.
not the TV, the camera.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
straight.
Okay, all right. You can make any shape that you can design with. The reason they're different colors, he says, okay, you need to make 2. When you print them, you need to make 2 to where you can switch and swap. Well, I went ahead and made 3. And then I figured out how to take and make individual pieces. And I printed me some individual pieces that I used more of. So I've had a lot of fun.
That is durable piece of plastic that might be able to benefit you on a way.
Okay, now, just hang on just a second. Oh, I didn't print these boxes. Okay. Now this piece right here, I printed. And I sent the guy back a message and asked him if he would design this with this is an 1.8 inch, and I sent him back a message, would he design one that had an 1.25 inch for a bigger lathe? And he hadn't done it yet, but this plate, this white piece, I printed that and then made me a sanding disc.
Mm-hmm.
So now, will it work for something that you're gonna turn on?
Do something like
It
this.
might, but I wouldn't. I'm not gonna stand up here in front of it and it running 2,000 RPM.
Well, what I was getting at is like some of these, I'm starting to get into more epoxy work and some of these cones that these people are using to go in the bottom of their vase.
Yeah, it would work for that.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Where it's
Yeah.
holding it in steady rest.
Yeah. It would work for something like that. But now the thing of it is there's different infills you can print that thing to where it will just be like an eggshell.
I do so.
Or you can print it with more infill in it and it will have more inside and be harder. So
For durability.
more durability. So I wouldn't put, there's things that I wouldn't build with it and there's things that I would build with it. And that works okay. Because the center part of that, the threaded area of that is pretty much solid. So that's where your torque and everything is. But the rest of it's just floating along with a piece of sandpaper. All right. If
Jack, on that, we need to get easy with our.
show and tell.
What the car?
Here you go. I can't see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You won't go there? Who's going to first?
Oh, no, they started showing them.
Just do the book part.
Here's going to start right now, with his tools, you got to get out.
Since I brought them that shrink wrap, that's that stuff Staten talked about in his demo last year. Comes in different diameters, and these are some of the tools I put it on if you do it. But to me, the best part is these little soft cushions for these. This thing works great, better than I think better than that. But in we talked about on that keyless duck here, this thing really makes a difference. In fact, Jack was using it up there. And then these boxes, we were over at Jeff Hicks' house a couple months ago, he was making an urn for his dog. And they were throwing these scraps away. He cut them off with a big chunk of wood and he was throwing that away. And I said, what? So I made some boxes, and in this big one, I went over to Bob Henry's house. He supplied the hackberry and he's burning that in his fireplace. So I said, no, I want some of that. So we got some and I made a bigger one.
That's hackberry.
Yeah, that's hackberry.
And your jaws, you can take them off.
Yeah, so
It's flexible enough to take them
yeah,
on
you
and
come
off.
over and look at it, you know.
So, do you heat it?
Yeah, you heat it and it shrinks. They come in different diameters, and so you got to go, but I mean, it really makes a difference from preventing,
Yeah.
it works great. And then, on these step jaws, I made a little tail because it's all the way down in there, so I just put a little tail on it so you can still mount it in the compression, and it comes off and on, but I mean, these soft cushions really make a difference.
I use rubber bands,
I
but
do too, yeah, I did, but these are durable food.
and it's online.
Yeah, just you go to the newsletter. And well, if you get newsletter, this tells you where to get it. You can just Google it on Amazon, go shrink wrap for fishing poles, and it pulls up all that stuff. And it comes
Shrink
different.
wrap for fishing.
Shrink, yeah,
Heat shrink for, I found it in like 10 minutes when I just looked a couple minutes ago.
but it really is, this thing is cool on these jaws.
I only got one.
Who done the clock here? I did the clock.
It's just a cushion.
Oh, I had some wood that came from the farm, but my wife's family's farm. So this was probably cut down 100 years ago and sent to the sawmill, and it's just southern pine. And I wanted to make something kind of for them out of this big board of it I had. I pulled off of the barn once it was decrepit. So I made a clock and did the laser engraving to cut the numbers. But I brought it to say, don't do this, because using that old southern pine, it is so full of sap and rosin. It's horrible. It got over everything. Oh my, and all that. Nice, but boy, did it make a heck of a mess.
That's a lot of cleanup.
It does smell good.
Maybe also.
A lot of cleanup.
I've got.
Teapot or
Hurt pine.
cantaloupe.
Who's got the little candle lights? Well, those are nice.
Saw something on Facebook here a month or so ago. Guy had a piece of log about that long, about 8 inches long. Parted it in the middle, gave him 2 pieces with tendons on them. And I said, that looked pretty easy, so I tried it. Worked out good out of the oak, but I found out, it's got a little tendency to split when you get through with it. And thing about what Jerry was talking about, putting the wood on the chuck. Well, I couldn't get my tea lights after it split in the hole. Brought it up here to Jack. Jack heated some of this on his chuck, and it was able to grab a hold of these, and then we were able to open up the hole and for the tea light. So that worked pretty good. And that, like I said, that's a simple project, 8-inch piece of firewood in my case. Just cut it in the middle, to put tenon in the middle there, part it off, and you got 2 pieces. And then you do your shape. And then I saw this little weed pot. And that's a simple, easy job to do. And then I actually started turning pins again. So I bought a kit, had 5 on sale, 5 different pins. So there you go. I can't remember what that was. That's Osage orange, spalded something or another. Canary wood, and Tommy Hartline's favorite here, the blue and orange pen. So I have actually done something this past month.
Good job. For the segmented piece, who's
We'll drop that boy.
Yeah. So this is actually one of my first ones. This was done, I don't know, a long time ago.
Not bad for a rookie.
Yeah. As you can tell, it's need to clean the inside. But it's Purple Heart, so obviously it's exposed to UV, so I need to probably return it because it was real bright purple before. It's really pretty. Yeah, so it's just I'm afraid to put it on the lathe again.
what's the white wood?
Yeah, it's Holly.
Oh.
Yeah. And this back when I could actually afford ebony. And yeah, so I got actually a website that's got all the different ones that I have on it. Usually I put the number of pieces on this.
So what's the bottom?
Just walnut. Yeah, I need a nice solid base. Just
Beautiful.
That's very pretty.
Your accent rings. I struggle with getting the points to come out. Do you have a jig or something that you use?
No, just patience on it. Actually, if you look at it real close, you can see how I put all that together. Yeah, the other one I have, I'll bring it in next time. It's like 1,800 pieces.
Oh.
And it's this design here, the design piece, is really tense. I actually, I made a real nice bowl, and I actually at the Huntsville Wood Club, actually a couple people from there. I kind of showed class on how to put all that together. Unfortunately, I sold the bowl, but still regret it. But anyway.
Dave?
Well, numbers said I have unknown on here.
See if I can find that. Yeah, like I said.
This was on the lathe
last week in November. I knew what it was, but I had a heart attack. And don't have much memory left. But it's I don't know, it turned out pretty after I got out of the hospital.
Is it rose that might be?
I don't have any idea.
It's wood.
But anyway, when I got to where I was okay, I went and finished turning and that's what came out. And seems to be a really pretty piece. This is another piece that I have no idea what kind of wood it is.
Spalted.
But I said, hey, if I can keep that together long enough to turn it, it'll make a pretty good looking bow.
Do you remember what finish you put on it?
It's lacquer. So anyway, it held together and did well, folks.
Yeah.
Hey, at the hospital, they didn't tell me I had a heart attack. For about a week and a half, I was doing what I wanted to. But then I saw a cardiologist. First thing she said was, what do you think about the heart attack? I said, what heart attack? So, but anyway, I'm doing well.
We're glad you did that.
I'm still playing with it.
That be mine.
This is a case of don't do like I did, do as I say do. But I've been working with the rehab folks at Princeton Hospital. Jack and I come up and did one, and we've been putting a lot of designs together. And this is just basically to kind of show you how the key points is 2-inch in diameter on the outside, about 1/2-inch wheels, and about 1 3/4 inches in the middle, and bring it down to 1.5 inches on each end. And this was the surprise part. We were killing ourselves making beads, and turned out I backed into something. What they actually wanted, if you can see, is the top of the of this is actually flat and just taper off on each side. And I kept making them larger and larger, the beads larger and larger, and about 1/2 inch seemed to be what they're looking for. They use this for people that is in rehab for plantar fasciitis. Anybody that's ever had heel spurs know how painful, and apparently that was jackpot when I think we're like 5 or 6 in before we made that. But you know, if somebody wants, I'll give you the measurements and you can write them down. It's really not hard to make, but a lot of folks like them, and these will make you buddies right here.
Rolling foot on them.
Oh, yeah.
I've done the water, I've done the water, but used frozen water bottles.
Yeah. The key is you're making a much bigger bead than I thought that it would have been done.
Hey, Mark.
All right. Who's got the little?
You send him the lessons.
This last month, I went to the Tennessee Symposium, and there was a little gal there that was doing these chameleon bowls. I really enjoyed watching several of her demos because she's from England, and she's very knowledgeable and she's very talkative, and I just loved listening to the British accent. But the big thing she was doing was this chameleon accent. That, and she was making necklaces out of epoxy resin and burl. And I thought those were awful cute, so I started doing some of them.
Ron, you explain on your bows again what that is.
What's that? What did she do next?
It's chameleon glitter. You put down a layer of glue, of a liquid contact glue. You let it sit for 15 minutes till it's semi-dry, but it's still tacky. And then there's a sewing glue that you use for sewing. This is leather beads along here. Now, don't do like I did and let it dry thoroughly. because it's a chore to get the extra glue off once it's dried too long. She was doing a lot of those things, and I thought it was awful.
Now you're
Presume
the handle,
Pardon?
the handle is,
Oh, the handle I just got off of, Hobby Lobby. What I did was I made this one with a different lid, and it didn't fit tight enough, and I had just a little bit of wood left. But I didn't have enough wood left to be able to get a grip on the handle. My wife found those and yeah, she's tickled. Yeah, they're drawer knobs, and I tried to get as small as I could. I kind of like them.
You basically just cut a little on the side there, you cut a little groove in when you're turning. And then how do you keep the glue in there from just spilling out?
What she did
Before-
during her demonstration, she
thing, man.
she turned the basic ball, put finish on it, and then took I use a parting tool to cut a little groove in.
Mhm.
And then I do you paintbrush the stuff to hold the glitter on.
Oh, okay.
Once the glitter's done, that sewing glue that fabric glue is a rubberized type of cement. And once it semi-dries, you can go in through here with your fingernail and just rub it off.
Okay.
I made a mistake of letting it dry too long.
So it's not something thin enough that it's just gonna run
No,
all
it
over the
doesn't.
place. Gotcha.
No, it doesn't run.
Yeah.
The stuff for the glitter is like the liquidy.
Yeah.
But you've got a groove there that kind of keeps it all in. This piece I took to the symposium and I made a bad mistake. I put it on the table and the next thing I knew, Sammy Long had his stuff right next to it. If any of you know Sammy Long, he does piercing and carving and leaves that are just phenomenal. After that, I took this back home. The butterflies were more rounded wings than I had tried to do the veins with just carving the veins in, and it just wasn't up to the level that Sammy does, so I had to play with it. I brought it home and changed the butterflies all around, and actually, this was 2 pieces of wood that I got from Mr. Tate at the Christmas thing. He had bowl blanks there, and when I saw him, I knew that it was gonna be a carving. It was just, I thank you.
hey, Ron?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I was.
It's,
Yeah.
it was different in Tennessee. It was a lot different, and
That's how I feel when I'm there.
yeah, anyway, it was fun.
Did you, happen to meet Ashley Hartford up there?
Who done
Emma went up there. I didn't see her.
The challenge at the Alabama Woodturners there in Birmingham for, this month was to make a mallet. So this is my mallet I made. This is, Osage orange. It had a little limb coming out right here, and I thought if I could take this down far enough that this limb part would disappear. But the deeper I got, the more there was of it. So anyway, it's finished with wax, and so I'm pass this around. Don't hit anybody with it. But that's Osage orange. This is somebody.
Yeah.
This is a wing bow or a waterfall or whatever you want to call a box. Really, it's a box. And it's a Jarrah, Jarrah, Jarrah burl from Australia. And the lid is maple and the finial is privet. It's just so it's a little box like that. And what your colors of maple and privet? Black dye. shoe dye. And then I spray it with acrylic, clear acrylic. And I spray that with acrylic. I couldn't. It won't take oil. It won't take an oil finish.
And, you have stuff in the shop downtown? In Coleman?
There,
You have stuff in the shop in Coleman, don't you?
yeah, Leldon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw it the other day.
And this is a piece of a walnut crotch tree where I cut it here and I cut the limbs off and it laid around for a while. And I got looking at it, you know. Thought it had a beautiful design in it. So I made a platter out of it and I left some of the saw edges on it. With the chainsaw, got it. Yeah, right here. And left the live edge there. So. And it's oil finish. It's got 4 or 5 coats of true oil, you know, for gun stocks and things. It belongs to my son now. When I got finished with it, he said, "That's mine." So I borrowed it from him to show him.
Who got the mug? Buddy? I'm just getting into the epoxy stuff. And because I don't have 15 years for my wood to dry. But I like doing the epoxy. I know one thing, I've learned quick that if you turn really fast and it gets really hot, they don't like that at all. But this is just cut up pieces of what is it? Yeah, box elders. And I just put it in there and got lucky, you know. So getting better at it. You know,
passing the handle on?
Did
you just epoxy the handle
I epoxied the handle on, but I made sure it fit. Got a lot of sanding machines made. Just got it where it fit, it's missed until it does fit.
What do you drink out of it?
Just cold stuff,
Yeah.
because you can't put coffee in it.
Before anybody says anything, yes, I know it's flint. This is more an engineering test piece than anything else. I just wanted to get my processes down and that kind of thing. I had a piece of sassafras that I'd cut down like a week or two earlier. It was the right diameter, so I cut an end off of it and started turning this. So got the 3D printed rings from Jack.
Oh.
And you know, that was the idea. Was you know, to see if I could, you know, take my basic design and turn it into a rocket ship like this and get everything to line up. I did that. This is just some, you know, 1/8 inch ash that I bought. Need to make a couple of these for the young girl. She wants something for her 2 boys out of some wood she gave me. And instead of tearing up that and messing it up, I want to be sure I could do it for him. So yeah, this is the basic idea.
Have you tested blasted off?
Not yet. I was gonna let you do that. You know,
All right. So
Yeah.
what you gonna put in it?
I'm not gonna do anything with this. This is probably just gonna shelf somewhere, but for this, you know, friend of my daughter's, gonna give it to her 2 boys. She wanted something out of the tree that they could have. And I thought this would be a good idea, you know, for a boy, they could hide candy or pens or whatever they want to in it. Yeah. But anyway, that was the idea. And it turned out reasonably well.
We have finally gotten the shop to the point where some parts of it are usable. My area, the turning area. Is kind of usable. And typically, if it's been a long while since I've done any turning, I'll either do a tree got a little small forest in the house, or make a small bowl. And this was the tree that I had found, there was a piece of, I think it, yeah, the great myrtle was partially tree-shaped. So I just finished it up. It's just a practice piece to get that back.
Yeah. All right, thank everybody bringing everything in. Very good. Do, how many people we got? We'll do the internal challenge right quick.
I couldn't tell the background. Yeah, the John.
John is selling this stuff.
You folks out there in Zoom land, that's gonna wrap us up. We're just going down to just doing our raffle now. So we'll see y'all next time. Anything we can help you with, just let us know. Thanks a lot for attending. See y'all next time.
Okay.